The bells, please. Okay, those that are at the bar can still stay there if they wish. No need to turn into their seats. And just before we kick off with the formalities, of course, we've had a wonderful year under President Rhonda, and unfortunately, our resident rock pop star Neil Matson can't be here to sing this song, so I've had to try and put something together myself. If you know the words, the chorus comes, you can try them, but they may be different. So here we go, see the words.
I've never heard this before.
Well, she came into town and our club has been so ably led. At 5 on Friday mornings, it's so great to get out of bed. Well, Rhonda, you look so fine. And let's all raise a glass of wine for us to thank you, Rhonda. Thank you. You have played your part. So, thank you, Rhonda. 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 You sure have played your part. Her Rotary infants were rife, and we were her #1 fan. But for a month or two, she managed to get away in that camper van. Well, Rhonda, you caught our eye, and we can give you many reasons why. We've got to thank you, Rhonda. Rhonda, you have played your part. Your turn, everybody. Thank you, Rhonda. 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 Yeah. No, that was you sure have played your part. Now, of course, it's not only Rhonda leaving the role of president, but Chris is becoming president. So we have a special song for Chris.
Chris.
Join in if you know the words.
Chris. C-H-R-I-S.
Okay, so of course with Rhonda this year being an accountant, things were rather well structured and ran on time. What do you call an accountant scene talking to someone actually? Do you know? Popular. And where do homeless accountants live? In a tax shelter. Actually, I asked Rhonda one day, what's the difference between ignorance and apathy? And she said, I don't know. I don't care. The final thing we discussed was when does a person decide to become an accountant? And apparently it's when they realise they don't have the charisma to become an undertaker. Chris, on the other hand, doesn't suffer from insanity. he actually takes a great deal of pleasure from it. I have a bit of a split personality, said Chris to me, being frank. He did actually the other day, was a sporting sort of a man, and he kept on wondering why the frisbee kept getting bigger and bigger, and then it let him. While he was addicted to the hokey cokey, but he turned himself around. I thought this made Chris a remarkable human being in my view. He said to me once, before you criticise someone, walk a mile in their shoes. I thought that was wonderful, he said, because then when you do criticise them, you're a mile away and you have their shoes. Without further ado, I shall, for a year in review, welcome Rhonda, and you will now conduct the rest of the proceedings and Chris will eventually take over. Thank you.
What can I say? I've never been sung to before like that. Thank you very much. I have had the privilege of being the president this year, and I have thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been a fabulous year, supported by a fabulous club. Before I ramble on about all the things that we've done, I have one small job to complete, which I should have completed earlier, but I think like every president, you always wish you had more time. This is one of those things, and a few weeks ago I presented a Paul Harris Award to members that had joined the Centurion Club, which is about the fund that you give to Rotary International. And Sally Morrison has gone for the third time. So I have here her sapphire. I'm not sure it's Paul Harris with 3 sapphires, which I suspect should have possibly already had. And I think this is right. It came with this box to me. And I'm going to come down to you, Sally, and give it to you. Sally, you are a fabulous Rotarian. You might have left us, become our honorary member, but you are always a Rotarian in our mind, and you live by the Rotary values in everything that you do. And we're so grateful to have you as part of our club, but also we're so grateful to have you as part of our community. So thank you very much. Right, so what have we done? I can't believe the year has gone so quickly, and we're so, today we're at this beautiful venue. Sun's out, tide's in, and Chris lives in Oamaharoa, so it's a fabulous way to start our next Rotary year. At the beginning of my Rotary year, or our year together, I challenged us to walk the talk, to serve our community, show leadership, and work to bring people together from all walks of life to help strengthen us as a community. As a club, I believe we've done this. We've worked together well. We've focused our efforts to achieve our goals and live the values of Rotary. And as a president, it's been a privilege to lead this amazing club. You as our members, our directors, the Rotary partners, spouses and friends have delivered our goals in spades. To summarise, I'm just going to divide our work into 2 streams, equally important but a little bit different. And there's a Rotary that walks the talk. That's us visibly supporting and serving our community. And we've done this by taking part in 5 community street appeals, and we had Wendy Schoen who diligently coordinated that for us. We provided marshalling services for the Tauranga Half Ironman, again Rotary at work in our community. We delivered the Rotary Youth Driving Awareness Program in conjunction with our sister Rotary clubs from Tauranga to all the senior students of Tauranga secondary schools. And I must particularly thank Mary O'Sullivan for coordinating that on our behalf. And our youth services delivered Ripen, our Rotary Youth Program, which builds self-worth, resilience, self-belief in children from 14 to 16 years old. And this project is the main focus of our youth committee, and I'd like to thank all members of that committee, in particular David Robinson. The This Is Us project. This was a project that we coordinated that told the stories of our Tauranga immigrant communities through art and storytelling. It was incredibly rewarding for the participant communities and for us as a club, and we owe a special vote of thanks to Les Garrity and Pauline Cowlins, who can't either of us be here with us today, who spent many hours ensuring this project successfully delivered on its goals. So all these activities as Rotary at work in our community are being as it's us being seen to deliver, and I think that's a really important part of being a Rotary Club, that we're just not this invisible funder in the background, that we actually are seen to be working with our community. And then there's the financial support that we've been able to deliver. This is about enablement, empowerment, and supporting organisations and people within our community to deliver their goals to their sector of our community. Next page. Our club fundraised during the year, and we had a gross turnover in excess of 126,000, which resulted in a net revenue for distribution of around about $50,000. This was incredible, because when we started in July, we had a couple of vague things going on, but not much else. So it's just so awesome to think that everyone stepped up and reaped what they sowed. They got behind what we needed to achieve and went out and fundraised. As well as that money, we as a club started to dip into our reserves, because fundraising as a whole was so severely affected by the lockdowns of COVID, that we were going to give a further $25,000 to our community. So in this last 12 months, we've distributed close to $75,000. The largest recipients being Graham Dingle Foundation and Tauranga Art Gallery Bus, who both received $12,500, and that's as a direct result of our major fundraiser for the year being the Treasured Art Auction. And a special thanks goes to Pat, Kathy and John and the rest of the Treasured Art Committee who worked tirelessly to complete this event. Then the remainder distributions have gone to 19 other organisations in Tauranga, plus our overseas support. In overseas we supported a school and threads across the Pacific and Santo, the Solomon Islands, as well as Rotary International charities of Shelterbox and Romac. I think these achievements, in conjunction with the stress of the global pandemic, are incredible. And I think Tauranga Sunrise, you guys just rock. It's just so cool to be part of this organisation. And I need to thank my directors who have led these different areas of the club so expertly. So can you please stand if I call your name? So Linda Birch, on Linda. Rotary elect. President-elect. A director of our international committee, responsible for fundraising. You ran quiz nights and all sorts of bits and pieces to support your Rotary charity in Santo, deliver the books. You spent a weekend on a statutory holiday day sorting books out to send to schools, which is just fabulous. Thank you so much for running that so ably. Les Garrity, unfortunately not here with us today. He's the Director of Fun, being the events director, and he's off having fun somewhere else. But he's been great to work with, and their whole events committee has been very supportive of all the other committees as they did their fundraising. And I'd like to thank them all, and it's going to be ably looked after this year in the future by Henry. Wayne Shadwell, Director of Club Services. Where are you, Wayne? There he is. I am so grateful to you. You are the man that keeps our meetings busy. You've got like all the speakers come. You're like the go-to wise person of how to run things, which I was desperately in need of when I took this role. So thank you very much for all the work that you guys do. Pat Taylor, Community Services. Where are you, Pat? There he is. You've been so good at engaging with our community. You have identified organisations that we can help. You and your committee have worked through a matrix to work out how we should judge things, and that has left that whole community service committee in a good place going forward. And I think we are going to be robust in the way we deliver our services. And David Robertson, I don't think you're here today. Are you here, David? No. Oh, you're here. Where are you, David? No, I don't think he is. Well, David, our youth director, has worked tirelessly as well, and with a lot of issues going on at home, and we're very grateful for what David's done. But, you know, delivering Ripen, Ryla, we're supporting Outward Bound, the science schools, Graham Dingle, they're all where we directly make an impact on our children of our community. And I couldn't have done without my secretary and treasurers, Ray Scott and Simon Beaton. So thank you very much as well. So as president, I've been standing in front of you like a conductor, and you've been my orchestra, and I've been so lucky to have you all. Each and every one of you have stepped up to lead your committees and to achieve the goals that we set out to do. And we're a team, And there's no I in T, and there's no I in Rotary. Together, everyone achieves more, and Rotary Sunrise, I believe, is walk the talk this year. So thank you all so very much for supporting me as President, supporting our club and our community. And now, my very last job is... Drum roll please. Chris Christmas, come forward. Chris, you're going to be an awesome President. You're well prepared and you have a big heart, and it's always a lot of friends or family in our community, which is awesome. As President-elect, you stepped up and you were always there when I needed you. You supported the directors and have a great plan for next year. And it's reassuring to all our members to know that we have a President leader for the year 21-22. So it is with pleasure that I pass the chains. Here they go. To you, to get over your head. Look at that, so you can embrace it for you. And most of all, you get the dollar.
Oh, the dollar.
Yeah, got a name change on it. So thank you all very much, and it's been my pleasure to be your President. Thank you.
Well, here we are. I haven't got 63 pages. First of all, welcome to Mokoroa. We lived in Terra in the middle of winter, which Matariki was yesterday, I understand. I lived in Terra that we were going to turn up here and the nor'easter was going to be howling in there. And you know, on a good day, the carpet would be as the sea wind blew underneath the club. But no, which turned out beautifully, and you can understand why I wax lyrical about the place. This is a lovely place to live, and you know, those of you who want to know, I just live up there looking straight down at this place, so very, very handy to this end of Mokoroa. So welcome. Thanks very much for your kind words, Rhonda, and actually for our MC Greg as well. They're much appreciated. When I was at secondary school, I always remember an old teacher. I say old, he was probably about 50, but he seemed old at the time. Now he was a English and Latin teacher. I'd long given up the dream of being a Latin scholar. And so, while he was teaching Latin in the classroom, I used to have a study period in that I was supposed to be studying. Now, we always thought that no one knew, but we had this trick, we put the transistor radio in your shirt pocket under your jersey, and you could run the earphone up the thing here. You could lean on your desk and listen to the cricket. We always thought that he never understood what was going on, but I suspect that it was a well-known trick. Anyway, one day during the class, Mr. Meehan twigged to me, and he stopped the class, put down his textbook, and he looked across to me, and he said, "Mr. Dever, when the workers of the world stand in solidarity, it would be presumptuous of you to stand with them." I've spent most of my life trying to prove him wrong. Maybe I've been successful. It doesn't seem very long ago when I was invited. It's interesting that there was this thing about how I volunteered for this position. It doesn't seem very long ago when I was invited to Pat and Bernie's house for dinner. Warren, Wayne, and maybe someone else was there as well. And after a few drinks, they sort of shuffled me out into the backyard and suggested that I should accept the position of President-elect for the 2021-22 year. As it was 2019, the 2021-22 year seemed eons away. And so, without too much worry, but a little bit apprehensively, I reluctantly said yes. Here we stand 20 months later. I can tell you, it's the fastest 20 months ever. Firstly, I'd like to thank the 2021 board for leaving the club in such good shape. As you've heard from Rhonda, we've just completed a very successful year. This both makes it easier for us, the incoming board, to manage the club, but also sets a very high bar for us to achieve. In particular, several of the directors have moved on from rotated out of positions this year. And so a special thanks to Wayne Shapwell, Dave Robertson, Les Garrity and Pat Taylor, who are, well mind you, Pat's not completely off the hook, for their work during the last year. Let me introduce the 2021-22 board. If they could come forward as I call their names. First of all, of course, Vice President Rhonda. Sorry, not Vice President, past President. Immediate past President Rhonda. So you can
Yeah, I can be in charge.
That's your one.
Okay, that's fine.
And I don't think we can pin them on people. We'll be here
Take it
tomorrow.
off. Okay, who's the next
So
one?
the next one is our Secretary, Simon Beaton. Done a great job so far this year and is returning to give us a hand this next year. If you could just stay up, maybe you just stay up here until we've gone through the list, and then maybe we'll just sort of get a round of applause or something at the end. Ray Scott. So Ray's our treasurer, and the only one who understands the mystery of which bank accounts which. President-elect and Director of International, Linda Birch. So having two jobs this year is a big challenge, and but Linda is as Rhonda said, proved very competent, and I'm sure she'll raise that challenge and be well prepared for her presidency next year. Director of Community Services, Shiv Thelma. Shiv, if you could hop up. So Shiv's first year as a director, and he'll do a great job, I'm sure. So thanks, Shiv. Director of Club Service, Dean Thompson. Dean's been a quiet supporter of the club in the background and has agreed to come and give us a hand this year to try and put some his leadership in that area. Director of New Generations, Andy Cameron, and Director of Nancy Henry Kaiser. They can't be with us today, for various reasons. But they will be joining as directors. And we have, and of course, we have a new director for a new committee this year, and Director of Environment is Michelle Bingle. And so, if you could, I'm sure you can. So please congratulate these directors, and I'm sure that they can count on you for full support for the next 12 months. I promise not to talk too long. Our worldwide president, Shikha Mehta, has a theme for the year: serve to change lives. Shikha lives in Bombay in India, a country that is currently struggling with COVID-19, the new variants of that. I'm sure he's got his hands full, but for the 2021-22 Rotary year, he wants members to focus their effort on empowering people by ensuring their access to education, resources, services and opportunities. In particular, he's interested in the plight of young women in some societies, and he looks forward to build a future generations of young women leaders. I see this as fitting in well with some of the work that we do with young people through our association with the Graham Dingle Foundation and other projects in our club. Our District Governor, Ross Peckham, I don't know how many of you have met Ross, but he will visit the club at some stage this year. He's in Napier, a lovely guy, and very enthusiastic about his year. His theme really is about the health and well-being of our members, and we've already got some people thinking about how we might reflect that in our club. There's been some talk of a cycling group, but he's very keen that we look after ourselves as well as looking after our communities, and that it's important that we have that that you know, we have that care for ourselves. If we're going to look after others, we need to actually look after ourselves as well. We're very fortunate to have our own Pat Taylor as the Assistant District Governor, and we look forward to working with him and wish him well for his challenging year. Not too challenging. We would also offer our thanks and good wishes to our retiring Assistant District Governor, Ron Fife, for his support of the club and in the district. Tauranga Sunrise is lucky to have a strong club. Our club has good membership numbers, and over the past few years we have maintained a consistent flow of new members. We need to maintain that, but I believe that it's time for us to focus on our club, what we have to offer for prospective members in future years. Prospective members no longer are the baby boomer generation. Our prospective members now are Generation X and Generation Y. Some Gen Ys are now 40 years old. If Rotary, and in particular the Tauranga Sunrise Rotary, is going to be relevant in the future, it's important that the club offers activities, projects and challenges that appeal to the new demographic of members, whilst at the same time maintaining our Rotary goals and purpose. I believe that the Environmental Committee is a small step in the Environment Committee is a small step in looking at new areas that, in particular, younger generations are very interested in. There are already some, I will be challenging our committees to think about this thing during this year. Questions already raised was, is Friday the best morning for our meetings? In this day and age, a lot of people at home are working from home on Fridays, so maybe that's not the day that people come to the city. But all I guess I'm signalling is not that we're going to change that, but we sometimes need to ask those questions and confirm what we're doing is sensible and be open to thinking about new ways of doing things and new approaches to things.
Should Friday flies be every Friday?
Don't be so serious.
As I'm a relatively inexperienced president, I'm lucky to have been able to recruit a great team of young directors this year. I'm confident that we can have a great year. The Kaitiaki Group has set the club on a stable course, and I'm sure that I speak for all the other directors when I say that we look forward to stamping our mark on an already successful club. I see this year as an opportunity to prove my old teacher, Mr. Meehan, wrong. A year of work ahead of us. I've only got one more thing to say. Really, is really just again a vote of thanks to Rhonda for her service for the year, and I think Mary's just going to come up and.
I've already been sung to it.
Oh yeah. We get Gary to sing. We get Greg to sing the song.
Thank you, Rhonda.
That's it. Thank you very much. Gorgeous wife. We had a lovely meal here today, and this is a great premises, and a little ad for the local. If you're cycling out this way, it's open for coffees and things. But one of the things I did want to mention is that the restaurant here has been, or the club has been very generous in supplying a raffle prize for the whiskey tasting that we've got next month now. So just want to say thank you to them and acknowledge that to you guys. So.